Matt Duchene was just talking about the fact that he had great respect for the Montreal Canadiens and came close to signing here. You met with him, it was reported. Did the fact that he chose Nashville push you into, not necessarily push you into, but did it create this idea in your head to make this offer to Sebastian Aho?
No, I look at the option, what was available, and that's what, as an organization, we looked at the closest, and we identified that Sebastian Aho was the player. And then after the window opened, we're able to talk, and he wanted to be here in Montreal. He agreed to this. He believed that's a really good offer for him, and he wants to be part of the Montreal Canadiens.
Second question is, if he's such a primary target for you, how come you wouldn't go to that next tier and offer an extra bit of money? I know it would cost you an extra first-round pick. So do you think that maybe would make it that much harder for Carolina?
Well, we looked at all this. Like, it's not like we just woke up this morning. And the first 12 months is the key. And the difference between where that threshold was going to be, for us, didn't think was the difference. Believe it's not. We believe that, and also that the player, the value for us, what we see, the risk involved, and also where he fits in moving forward. Again, we have players in the future we'll need to take care of, and that's part of where, at some point it becomes where it's not worth it, where you become you get a contract that you don't like. Even though you like the player, you have to be at the right place. And to go up higher, we looked at all this, and we felt that was the threshold. We felt comfortable on all sides, and also Sebastian agreed to this contract.
But it's more about you guys not wanting to throw in an extra pick into the deal.
Well, no, it's not only one part, okay? It's not only the pick. It's where's the next threshold, okay? That's one also. And what's the difference in the first 12 months? Is that going to make a big difference? If they're going to go match, is it going to make a big difference? If you go there, then you might as well go there. So we felt that was a place where we felt comfortable, and Sebastian felt that it was a really good contract also.
Stu Cowan, John Lou.
Mark, if this deal works out, it's obviously great for the team. If it doesn't, you're left with a lot of salary cap money not spent without the player. Do you have a plan B in case this doesn't work out?
Well, you know what? This shows to our fans that Jeff Molson ownership, that we want to be a good hockey team. We want to win, and we feel that this is the guy that we identified that was going to help. He's a young player. You take a risk when you do that. Like you mentioned, guys are getting signed. But you can, when you have that cap space, tie it up. You can't go out and spend it, and then you get the player, then you're in bad position. So you need to be smart, and that's the risk we take. Yeah, the chair is going to be gone by the time, but that's the business we're in. But we felt even though if it doesn't happen, we still have a very good hockey team.
Were you in the running for Anders Lee? Was he somebody that you were?
We look at everybody. To be honest, we looked at everybody.
Just a couple more quick. Are you worried about reaction from other GMs? I'm sure Hell's not very happy with you, or this is something that hasn't been done very often?
I understand. It's part of the CBA. It's within the rule, and I'm responsible to Jeff Molson and our fans, and that's what I'm here to do. And like I always said, it's not about just spending foolishly. It's about spending on the right people, and we felt that Sebastian was the right people to go after.
Thank you, Stu. John, Philippe Quentin, Jean-François Chaumont.
Mark, just to piggyback on what Stu was just asking, moving forward then, would you perhaps be more inclined to move faster on some of your high-value RFAs when they become eligible for their coming out of their entry levels, like Kotkaniemi or potentially Paling down the road, those types of players?
Well, we all honestly, that's something doesn't matter what happened today, we're always going to do that. And I also believe that other teams do that too. Sometimes, like I said in the past, you need two parties to agree to have a contract. So I know there's a lot of guys out there, but I'm sure the GMs and the teams are trying to re-sign them. And, every case is different for different reasons.
One other, Mark. In the past, you've said that you haven't really been a big fan of throwing big contracts at players on July 1st. And so in this case here, what was the tipping point in your mind that made you decide to go with this type of tactic?
Well, because usually, by the time guys get to, if you don't go offer sheet, they go to free agency, they're older, and some guys are, good values, but we felt this player at Sebastian at 21 years old was the right target for us.
Could you clarify just why going to the next threshold would not make the difference? You've said it twice where you don't think it would make the difference. Why exactly would it not make a difference to go a little higher money-wise? Forget the compensation, but just in terms of putting that financial pressure on them, what is it about that threshold that would make no difference if you went higher
Well,
money-wise?
because it's not a big difference.
Well, going up to 10 a year, it wouldn't be, I mean, in theory, right? You could have gone up to, what, 10.4 or
Well,
whatever.
what's the
and then
compensation for that?
It's 2 firsts, a second, and a third.
Okay, and what's the difference in the first 12 months?
Well, that's what I'd like you to explain.
Well, it's the money, it's, I
Yeah.
mean, we did the numbers, it's
Right.
not that, the
Okay,
first
so
12.
the initial signing
Yeah,
bonus
that's
money
where
would
we
not
felt
be
that
that
was,
huge.
yes,
Okay.
correct.
Secondly, are you willing to use the summer cushion on your cap to continue doing your business while you wait for Carolina to decide? Like, are you willing to go over the cap
I'm
as
willing
much
to
as
do
you're allowed?
anything to help the Montreal Canadiens, that's what I'm here to do.
So you could potentially sign a player and then maybe even get Aho and wind up above the cap? Like, that's,
Yeah, I could do, yeah, that's a possibility, yeah.
okay, thank you.
Nikki, Marc-Antoine Godin, Patrick Friolet.
Mark, if you could please just reiterate in English what it is about Aho that sold you on him, and what do you think it is about Montreal that sold him?
Well, young player for me, for us, center, played center the whole year, performed in the playoff, the age with our group, very smart, very skilled, makes other people better around him. And Montreal, I mean, for him to want to be part of this, what we're trying to accomplish moving forward, I think it says a lot about the player.
In your mindset, if this deal is consummated and he becomes Canadian Sebastian Aho, is he the missing foundation piece that you've been looking for this franchise?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he's a missing piece. He's a very good piece, a very young piece, and he fits very well with our young players.
Does it make your team an instant cup contender?
I would say with him in the lineup, and I'm going to go out on a limb here, he'll make our team better. But again, it's a tough league. Anything's possible. Doesn't mean because you get a player, you're in the playoff right away. There's 82 games you got to battle through, and you have to make it.
I just want to ask about, before the draft, you mentioned that you wanted to pick up a D. It would be something that would be good for you. Do you see it as a need that you need to fill between now and next season to improve your D, and specifically on the left side, where your depth chart is not quite the same as what it is on the right?
Yeah, I mean, in the perfect world, I like to. I mean, we looked at it, and we're going to still look at it. But as of right now, we don't have the player you mentioned. But you know, for example, we made an offer to Jody Benn, the same he signed with Vancouver back in April. So exact same offer. So we're going to try to do some upgrade and maybe add some depth at some point. But right now, we're still looking.
Would Aho coming in and not, if Carolina doesn't match, would that limit your ability to do that with potential free agents that are on the market?
Let's see what's left at the time. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know.